Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Auset Rose. I am so excited to start and launch this channel to share more about who I am, what I do. I am a woman who loves talking about metaphysics, astrology, world affairs, tarot, energy medicine, art, story, how we can use story to alchemize, how we move through the world. I'm really interested and in supporting people in healing the ways in which we show up. So today I want to talk about our divine blueprint. Each and every one of us has a divine blueprint, a way that the divine, the creator, has given us the interests, the talents, the desires that we have, and has also seeded within us, how we can use energy in a way that can be creative or destructive, right? But really, so many different spiritual traditions across the world have been talking about the self, Atman, the soul, these concepts that I believe in this present day and age are really essential for us to tune into. And I support people, both individually and in group, in being able to anchor and sit in the wisdom that we already have, right? But what gets us outside of our divine blueprint, right? Like what circumstances push us out of being able to anchor in our wisdom, anchor in our knowledge, anchor in our intuition, and anchor in what we know, anchor in what feels good, right? And people will talk about law of attraction, law of assumption. I'm all here for it. In this channel we will talk about that, but it's important for us to kind of understand, well, what were the circumstances that lead us to come out of our divine blueprint, right? And come into this world as babies, growing up as children, when we feel, I think most of us, we feel this deep, aliveness. We know that we're alive. We feel that we are alive, that we are so attuned to our senses, and we've been designed that way also so that we are able to learn rapidly, to develop right on time, right? Of course there are so many important nuances to this, right? But at some point we stop feeling that sense of aliveness. We may stop feeling that sense of this great inner presence to the point where we don't even remember that we had it. As a person who is a healer, and when I mean a healer, I think it's important to say that too, is that as a healer, I am driven by how to come back into full and also sustain full soul integration, right? And supporting other people in being able to come to their full soul integration. It's not, I ain't given the answers, I ain't given the healing, but as healers we work with energy, we work with whatever modality that we have been called to give, to support the individual or to support a group in being able to tune in and sense and feel the energy, their own energetic blueprint, and to create a safe container, a safe space for people to be able to do that. That's what we do. That's essentially the function, and hopefully to do so in a loving way, in a joyful way, and in a way that people are able to also just be really real with themselves. That is what space I like to create. That is the space that I create for my clients. That is the space that my clients have also shared in testimony. So the divine blueprint, I always think a lot about Plato, right? Even though Plato has gotten his information from the divine and ancient civilization of Kemet, which we know as Egypt. But the idea is everything in the universe already has a blueprint for its material manifestation, its material form. But there is, in the immaterial or the invisible realm, somewhere in the universe, there is a design, okay? So oftentimes in philosophy, they talk about the chair, right? There's a blueprint for a chair, there's a blueprint for a table, there's a blueprint for whatever, humans tend to innovate, there's a blueprint for it. Well, the same thing is the case for our soul. The same thing is the case how there's blueprints for musicians, there's blueprints for healers, there's blueprints for builders, carpenters, there is blueprints for innovators, there are blueprints for artists, right? So it just gets expressed in the unique way and the unique form that comes through the individual, right? So we are both incredibly special and also incredibly, Einstein said that we're insignificant and significant at the same time. So we're special, and we're also not special in a way, right? But there's something beautiful and powerful and profound about that, because it gives us the permission to be and express who exactly we are, and it also gives us the permission to do so without thinking or feeling like we're competing or we are needing to outdo somebody. Because guess what? Divinely in nature, there are multiple trees, there are multiple plants, there are multiple blades of grass that may look to the eye the same, but when you actually zone in, we all are different. It's the same thing with humans, right? It's the same thing with us. So our divine blueprint is essentially who we are without any projections, without any false opinions, whether that is from inside of us or outside of us, right? Our divine blueprint is our essence. It's our essence. It's our essence. It's that place that when we're able to feel connected to it, we're able to almost surrender and release and relax into that vibration. And when it comes to healing, right, it's about coming back to that. It's about coming back and allowing and supporting our physical bodies, our emotional selves, our emotional elements, our mental elements, to come into that ability to just relax and release and feel safe, right? That is what it's about. Now, from then that place, we're then able to make new choices, new decisions, make choices that are actually in alignment with our desires, make choices that are actually alignment with our divine blueprint, right? So the divine blueprint is essentially our personal map. It's our personal GPS system, essentially, right? That always allows us to get to our North Star. So when we're feeling, and if we're feeling disconnected to that, right? Like, well, what creates the disconnection to our divine blueprint? Anything, and this is the way that I, like to say it, is that anything that disconnects us from our divine blueprint, and if we feel disconnected with it, we essentially have a spiritual virus, okay? Now, if we have that spiritual virus, there are particular things that we can do to clean it up. Do a software update, right? we are essentially technology. Our body is technology, right? The ways that technology runs is based on our organic ways of being as human beings, okay? So if we are having the same way that we might have physical ailments, physical diseases, is also the same way that we can have mental and emotional and spiritual ones, right? Again, it doesn't mean that it can't be cleared. And so when you're working with a healer, right, when you're working with an energy healer, they're working on an energetic level to obviously clear away whatever energetic viruses, parasites that might be existing inside, right? And then clearing up the space, clearing up the aura for things to kind of smoothly roll and flow. If you're working with a therapist, a psychological therapist, they're essentially the software update of your minds, right? My philosophy and how I work is I work from an alternative perspective of mental health, right? So the way that I look at mental health is that it's very complicated. We are a multidimensional people. We are not just these machinic, all the time the same kind of people. We have particular gifts, spiritual gifts that we have, that if we're not in a right environment and we don't have the right support, we don't have the right mentorship, and there might be a trauma that then triggers these particular gifts to come online, but they're not coming online in an easeful way, it can show up like schizophrenia, like depression, anxiety, all sorts of things. Now, I am not a licensed therapist, okay, but I am working in the same legacy as so many people in the world throughout time to support people, even when they are still doing something more in the Western model, and that's completely okay. I do not shame people for the decisions that they make when it comes to, you know, what they feel they need for their mental health. But I also create spaces for people to play, for us to just tune in more to the vivacity, the vivaciousness. Is vivacity a word? The vivaciousness of who we are. So I'm really excited to, you know, be here on this channel, to talk more about all these different layers, all these different elements, share with you some tools and techniques that I use for my own wellness, and also I share with people who I work with. I'm so excited to talk about, you know, elements to our wellness, elements to our healing, elements to how do we claim ourselves back? How do we, when we feel disconnected to ourselves, how do we snap back and just revel, right, in the brilliance of who we are, in the brilliance of how we have been designed, in the brilliance that is inside of us to make, you know, better choices that bring us to better places, better experiences, better relationships, improved relationships maybe that we are always going to be in relationship with, right? And so I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for that. You know, right now we're in, I know many of us who might be watching my channel are attuned to what's happening in the world. And another element and part of me is that I'm very human rights centric, right? I am very much centric in, you know, attuning and making sure that we are in right relationship with the planet, we're in right relationship with the earth. So that is also very important and vital to who I am and what work I do and what space this is designed for, right? In terms of who is designed to be here. So I'm so excited to get to know each of you. I'm so excited to grow a community here. I'm so excited to share and witness and hear the testimonies of people who are going to revolutionize how they show up in the world. And so, looking forward to getting to know you all. Mwah. If you're interested in learning more about my work or how to connect with me, you can follow me on Instagram at Auset Rose _. As well, in my link below, there's some links below where you can, if you're interested in, possibly working with me, you can totally look and follow those links there too. And so the divine blueprint, for those of us who are feeling and sensing into connecting to our soul mission, our soul purpose, our soul divine blueprint, make that intention. I actually am going to invite us into a really short process that can then set in motion the intention, right? I want to also say that our words are super powerful, okay? When we speak, okay, every word, consonant, vowel within whatever language we speak forms a vibrational sound, forms a vibrational wave, right? It's almost forming a song that we're singing out into the universe, singing out into the fact that when we think about universe, okay? When we interact with other people, they are almost like in their own universe. So collectively, we are in multiple universes sharing in one universe, okay? We are sending out particular intentions out based on how we speak, right? There's so much nuance to this, and I'm really excited to be able to share this over the time of the channel, right? But when we are setting an intention, right? When we are, and this is something that we do all the time. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're setting intentions. But a part of the healing process, and something that is very simple, is actually setting intention. And bringing forward a particular energy that we want to experience, right? And this is just an example, right? When we are perhaps feeling worried about something, right? We might have some anxiety around it. When and if we are like, oh my God, I am so worried about this, I'm so stressed about this, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this, it causes and triggers particular reactions within our body where we feel like, oh shit, we feel depleted, we feel deflated, we feel more stressed, we feel like we don't know how we're gonna get through this, we don't know whatever we're going through, right? Clear that out. If we say, for example, this is an interesting challenge. I trust that the right time, I'm going to know exactly what to do. I know that I'm going to know exactly what to say in order for me to get through this challenge in a good way. I trust myself. I trust that I can get through this. I trust I am going to get through this, right? It creates a whole different internal feeling, right? So, our intentions. Coming back to the intention and specifically connecting it to anchoring and feeling and sensing in to our divine blueprint. Taking a moment to shut our eyes, bringing more of an internal attention to ourselves, and feeling into how we can create the sensation of space sensation of more clarity around us and within us. Sensing into the energy of our divine blueprint. The energy of our divine design. We may feel it lightly and gently. We may feel it potently. We may even find it just a little bit. Lean into that feeling more. And within yourself, whether out loud or within, state or say, I intend to connect more deeply with my divine design. I intend to connect more deeply with my divine design. I intend to connect deeply with my divine design. I look forward to knowing my divine design. I look forward to knowing my divine design. I look forward to knowing my divine design. I invite you to open your eyes, to notice how you feel. You may feel more rooted and connected and feeling more present. You might not feel anything different, and that's okay, because the more that we do particular practices, the more that we feel into them more, right? So this is the type of work that I do. This is what you can expect. This is who I am. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about your experience. Feel free to also post in the comments what you think and what you thought, what came up for you during this conversation. And no hesitation to reach out. Much love.